What's up, everyone? Bill McCafferty here. Today is Friday, January 29th, 2021. This is my first video of the year. I haven't been on since early December. Just a lot going on. Wanted to get a lot of things accomplished to finish up 2020 and kind of lay the groundwork down for 2021. So excited to be back on. Not too sure what I'm going to do video-wise this year. I think most people like my asset management video that I do on Fridays. The motivational videos, I think, are going to kind of come randomly. Not all the time. I'm definitely not going to be doing a Monday and Wednesday video. But I'm definitely going to try to, at least every other week, get back into doing a day in the life of an asset manager / note investor. And today is episode 33. So a lot of good content last year for you guys, and I want to deliver some good content for you this year. So let's get started. Episode 33. So if you remember, we always do both portfolios. People's Mortgage Relief 2. PMR 2 is my asset management company. That company gets hired by other note investors to manage their delinquent second mortgages, non-performing second mortgages. I have some first in there, but my skill and my specialty and what I like to do is manage non-performing seconds, residential seconds for other note investors. So a lot of good stuff going on. I'm going to do an overview right now on a few things that are happening. So if you remember last year, the government was offering that Paycheck Protection Program. And they were also offering economic injury disaster loans. So PMR2 was able to tap into the Paycheck Protection Program last year. And, you know, I didn't get crazy. I just wanted to get 2 months of salary and 2 months of health benefits. So same thing this year. They have a round 2. So I did the same thing, just applied last week with the same bank. Looking to just get a little bit of assistance to help things move. Definitely had a good year last year, looking for a good year this year, but definitely a little slow. With the Paycheck Protection Program 2, one of the things you needed to do was prove a 25% loss over the course of the year from 2019 to 2020, or prove a 25% loss in one of the quarters. Compared from 2019 to 2020. So my third quarter last year was 25%, even more than that, less than 2019. So supplied everything, and we'll see how that goes. If I get it, great. If I don't, it's all good. Still waiting to get confirmation that the loan, the Paycheck Protection Program loan from last year is going to be forgiven, because I did use it correctly. And I recorded all the proper documentation and did everything that I was supposed to do to have that loan forgiven. So that's what's going on. As normal, always buttoning up my processes and systems. Incorporated some new loan modifications and settlement agreements into the both my portfolio and the client's portfolio. It needed to be done for a little while now, and some things happened last year with some lawsuits and some different things with borrowers that I just needed to have some different clauses and some different things in there. So I reached out to some more seasoned investors that I know, got some stuff from them, and, you know, incorporated that in. So you always want to be growing. You always want to be trying to do better. And that's how you stay in business, because it's not easy. It's hard. Very thankful that I'm moving into 2021. Things are well, with the pandemic and everything that's going on. Businesses are closing down. Businesses are shutting down. I see people come and go in this business. Just got wind yesterday that a big fund, in my business is liquidating. And they're going their separate ways. There's, I think, 4 or 5 partners, all good people. I think they did very well. It's just this business gets very hard to keep maneuvering in When you carry a lot of capital, products getting harder to get. It's more expensive. It's just not an easy business to survive in. So one thing that I did learn over the last year and a half is, my business model survived. I have a good friend of mine, mentor of mine, does really well. He always says, in the up and down markets, your business model will be tested. And if you can survive it, you're moving forward. So that happened. Thankful for it. I appreciate everyone that puts trust in me, and look forward to moving forward with everybody here. So let's get rolling. PMR2 has 145 non-performing files. So that's awesome. You always hear me say I like to be between 100 and 150. I could probably handle, between 200 and 300. And that would be nuts. I would be very busy. I probably maybe need to bring someone in to do some paperwork. But in my world, financial freedom is about time. So my time is important. So I like that 100 to 150 mark. So I'm at 145, all good moving into this year. New files over the last month and a half, 2 months, 10 new files. And like I said, things slow down from Thanksgiving to the new year, and then it opens back up. So these, the data and the statistics, or the last video I did was December 11th. So, it's about a month and a half. So, new borrower contact, 12 borrowers. That's really good. Loss mitigation forms, packages that I sent out, 9. Another great number. Loss mit forms received and processed, that's 5. Option forms sent out, 6. Another good number. New loan mods and payoffs sent out, 7. So that's real good. It's lining up the pipeline, and, things will be coming back in February, and in March, and I'm working on all that to keep the pipeline full. It's important. And that's what happened last year. The pipeline slowed down and got very dry. New loan mods processed over the last month and a half, 2. Payoffs, 2. No foreclosure sales. No new bankruptcy files. No files wiped. I also haven't really dug into some of the files that may be wiped. I'll probably do that sometime in February. I usually do that every few months. Go through bankruptcy files. Files where maybe the first was delinquent, that we're not pursuing legal on, and that we're just sitting on. No files sold. I'm not going to add this, but a new some new data. I had 3 files transferred out. So it doesn't happen a lot. It's happened twice. A client of mine hired me to manage 3 loans. In this business, we stomach a lot. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot going on. But I always remind myself, these borrowers that are not paying on their loans, they do have a heartbeat, and they need help. Nobody is trying to be a deadbeat, and nobody's trying to ignore their situation. So sometimes a client and I just don't kind of see the same picture. Some investors, all they look at is yield and return, and they get fixated on that. They don't really analyze the borrower and, find out what the borrower can afford, and really try to put the borrower in a good position to move forward. It's something I take a lot of pride in as an asset manager. I talk about this all the time with investors that try to come into this space. They're always asking, what type of yields, what type of returns. There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money to be lost. At the end of the day, it's about helping a homeowner resolve their issue, and sometimes it's not a great yield. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. When you get fixated on that, you're done. You got to let things develop. You got to put them through their loss mit process. You got to send them out options, and you got to make it fair. It's got to be a win-win for everybody involved. So just was uncomfortable for a week. Had a good conversation with this client, and we just weren't seeing eye to eye. I sent him some money back, sent him his files back, and everybody's on their way. So all good. Let's jump into my portfolio. People's Debt Relief Solutions. PDRS. When I talk about PDRS, I'm also talking about my self-directed IRAs, and also my health savings account also does the same thing. So very similar to what my clients do. PDRS buys non-performing seconds, also buys reperforming seconds. And that's what really goes on with the IRAs. I buy a lot of reperforming loans, and I sell and buy partials. So that is what I do with the self-directed IRAs and the health savings account, because you're not really allowed to be running a business out of your self-directed IRAs and your health savings account. It's got to be more of a passive investment. So always want to stay within the rules and the limitations there and keep myself out of hot water. So that's what goes on there. So some things that's happened over the last month and a half. I sold a 5K note partial. So what that means is one of my existing mortgage notes that pays me every month. That homeowner owes me like 300 and some payments. A young investor that I'm working with, a great story. Not going to say names or details, but young man's 19 years old. He reached out to me. He goes to a big time university. He's a computer major. He tracked me down a while back, asked me to help him out a little bit with learning about notes. I was very thankful, very humble about that, and told him absolutely. So we're forming a friendship, a relationship. We kind of get on the horn at least once a month, a Zoom call. I kind of tell him some things going on in my business. Now we're talking about family and other things that are going on. A very cool thing, 19, and he set himself up a self-directed IRA, and he funded that, and he was looking to do something. So I want to put him in a good spot. So I said, you know what, let's do something. Bought a 5K partial, and that means he'll get the next 27 monthly payments off this asset. He gets a nice yield. I get some upfront money now to do some stuff. And, when partials work well, you need to meet the need of the seller and you need to meet the need of the purchaser. When that happens, things work out well. So that is a pretty cool thing. Looking forward to watching this young man grow and helping him grow. Once again, it's all about helping people out, but it's also about respecting people's time. I can't express that enough. Some other things that I'm doing. Some of my borrowers did get behind last year, and they're trying to catch up. So what I do is I have this thing called a term agreement. It's basically a one-pager. I'll reach out to the homeowner and ask them to sign this agreement if they're okay with it. And basically what we do is we keep all the terms in place. Let's just say they're 8 payments behind. We'll defer that 8 months of interest to the back of the loan. We'll bring them current when they make their next monthly loan payment. I'll waive all the late fees, and we're moving forward with a clean plate. Now, why I like that is it shows goodwill from my end. It helps the homeowner out. The homeowner's not chasing their payments. We get rid of the late fees, and it's better for me with my servicer, and I'm not paying my servicer more per month. So it's a pretty cool agreement that I've created and put together. I've done it a few times in the past, and just reached out to a few of my borrowers right now. One responded today, put that together and sent over. So once again, you got to be active, you got to reach out, and you got to make things happen in this business. Things that I'm doing, bidding on some assets. I'm helping a client, a student of mine, bid on some assets also, trying to build that relationship. Awesome gentleman out of Georgia. Give him a shout out. Once again, no names. But it's all about helping people, adding value from both sides of the equation. When you can add value, relationships work well. When you're asking for stuff and you're not adding value, it's tough. You got to respect people's time. Everybody wants to help you out, but there's only so much time in a day to do everything. So you're not disrespecting anyone, and you're not forgetting where you came from, because believe me, a lot of people helped me get to where I'm at today. But I respect people's time, and I'm not harassing people. I can't express that enough. Last year I had a situation with an investor. he just was reaching out to me a lot. And I said, I definitely can help you. I have a course and I offer consulting hours. If you can add a little bit of value to me, I will definitely bring it back to you. And he just never got that picture, and he just kept emailing me questions, and it just, you can only do so much for people. If you add a little bit of value, it'll come back to you. And that's kind of what I've realized, with my education program. There's a lot of people out there that charge a lot of money for coaching and education. I've never been able to do that. I think the education program that I have right now, is a solid one. The price is going to go up and things are going to change a little bit. But it's not a full-blown mentoring coaching program. It's just a course. It's a foundation of, how to set up a business, the mindset, everything about my business, all the way through to managing a portfolio of performing notes and how to leverage your capital and move through this business. What I tell these people that always reach out to me about my program and my education, they always bring up other people that are doing it too. And it's all good. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good courses in education. But I always say to them, is that person doing this full time? And are they supporting their family full time on this business? And if the answer is yes, they're the real deal. If the answer is no, you just need to take a step back and do some due diligence and make sure you're putting your money with the right people. Once again, there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good educators. And I always get the question too, how come you don't have a big fund? Once again, I've been in this business for about 15 years, very relevant still, moving forward. I'm very slow and steady. I've been in some partnerships. I've been in a fund. Funds are very expensive. You got to pay investors. You got to build the infrastructure, and there's a lot of sacrificing, and it's not easy to do. So, like I said, what I found out over the last year and a half is my business model works well. My asset management company doesn't own anything, doesn't have any debt, works off a commission and service fee, and does very well. It fluctuates with what's going on, but it does well. And then I have my own portfolio that does its thing, and now I have this education program. So, it's not always about borrowing a lot of money. It's not always about looking big and fancy. It's about really living this business, being relevant. And I'm okay working in my office out of my house, being slow and steady, not having a big fund. But I will put my data and my statistics up against anybody out there in this business. It's treated me very well, very blessed and thankful. And I love helping people. So that is what's going on. Like I said, with my education program, it's awesome. I think it's great. Money well spent. A lot of people investigate it and don't take the course. Right now it's $9.97. It's about 14 hours of content. You get my whole back office, and you get a private Facebook group for 6 months for support. Once again, very surprised that people don't take advantage of that. It's a very cheap program. Once again, it's not coaching or mentoring or hand holding. But like I tell everyone that reaches out to me, if you can add a little bit of value to myself or somebody else, that's going to go a long way for you. I can't express that enough. Nothing's free in this world. If it is, it's too good to be true. And once again, no one's saying, give me all your money to help you. It's just, we only have so much time in the day. We got a lot going on in business with family and personal stuff. So you do have to pick and choose a little bit. So that is it. Long-winded, a lot of good information. Once again, excited to be back. Looking forward to a big 2021. I hope all is well in your world. Everybody's staying safe. Pandemic's still here. Things are kind of still crazy. But you know what? Stay focused, stay in your lane, take care of what you can take care of, and don't get caught up in the nonsense. Have an awesome one, and I'll see you next time.